Last season, I told you to take the Jacksonville Jaguars over 7.5 wins, and they finished with 13. And this season, I got my eyes on another team in the AFC South. But instead of just going over their win total, I'm also taking them to win the Super Bowl. They are this year's Seahawks. So in this video, I'm going to break down 3 different bets on one team, my single largest position on any team this entire season. Now, welcome back to the Just Gridiron YouTube channel. My name is Peter Apple, and my only goal is to give you the best free picks with the best free analysis that I can muster. And my only ask in return is that you smash the like button and subscribe for future videos. Now, if you agree or disagree with the analysis you're about to hear, let me know. Drop it down in the comment section. I'll be there to answer it. So before we begin, though, a reminder, you can find all of these lines that I'm about to discuss on BetMGM. If you like any that I talk about and you have yet to download BetMGM yet, use code JUSTGRIDIRON, all one word, when you make an account, because if your first pick loses, you're going to get it all back in bonus bets up to $1,500. But now it's time to break down why the Houston Texans are this year's Seattle Seahawks. Now, there are many reasons to like Houston this year, but it starts with the defense like we know. It's rare to have a defense this good with all 11 starters returning. Continuity, it's difficult to quantify, but the relationships among the players, both on the field and with the coaching staff, are invaluable. And by the numbers last year, Houston finished number 1 in the NFL in EPA allowed per dropback, which is EPA, expected points added. It basically measures how much value a play is worth. So ranking number 1 there means no defense in football gave up less value per pass play than Houston. They also ranked number 2 in pass defense DVOA, which is a stat that measures overall efficiency against the league average, and number 2 in success rate allowed. Against the run, they were just as strong. Number 2 in rush defense DVOA. And this isn't a defense that got lucky. It's built on real elite talent at the positions that matter most. Will Anderson Jr., freak. Played like a defensive player of the year candidate in 2025. He just happened to do it the same year that Myles Garrett broke the all-time sacks record. And next to him, Danielle Hunter, who he'd be the best pass rusher on plenty of other teams. And Anderson, he led all of football in PFF's pass rush win rate. It's basically how often a rusher beats his blocker at 26.2%. And Hunter ranked 5th at 20.6%. 2 top 5 pass rushers beating their blocker at the same time. Houston can get after the quarterback with just 4 rushers and still drop 7 guys into coverage. That's what every defense strives to achieve. What the Seahawks did, considering most offenses have no answer for it. And then the secondary, awesome. Derek Stingley Jr. plays at an all-pro level. Kamari Lassiter holds up really well on the other side. Even the weak spot, right, at linebacker, it's not really weak. Azeez Al-Shaair is a bit up and down, but still really impactful. Kalen Bullock has already proven he can start in this league. And then they added veterans like Jadeveon Clowney and Reed Blankenship for depth. So the bottom line is, this defense has stars where it counts, solid players everywhere else, and a coaching staff that gets the most out of all of them. Combined with continuity, how do you not have them as the number 1 defense in the NFL in 2026, like I do? Houston already proved what a defense like this can do. Last year, they won 12 games with an offense that ranked 24th in yards per play and 28th in success rate. It was a bottom third offense, and they still won 12 games. And it wasn't luck driven. The defense carried them there almost by itself. Seattle just showed the whole league that a dominant defense can be the backbone of a dominant Super Bowl winner. Houston has the pieces to do the exact same thing, and they've already shown it works. But, and I can hear you, what about CJ Stroud? This is the part that makes people kind of hesitate, and understandably so. After a great rookie year in 2023, Stroud has taken a step back in each of the last 2 seasons, and his playoff runs ended with brutal games in which he just couldn't stop turning the ball over. To put it nicely, it left a very bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, maybe you included. But here's the thing. Stroud's 2025 regular season, was it actually bad? Or was it disappointing? And the playoff game set us all over the edge. He finished 13th in EPA per dropback. Again, how much value he added on average every time he dropped back to pass. 11th in DVOA and 15th in yards per attempt. His interception rate was actually better than Josh Allen's and Patrick Mahomes. And it fits a pattern using the same EPA per play metric. 6th as a rookie in 2023. He was awesome. 28th in 2024. He was real bad. But in 2025, he was a top 15 guy. Now, will Stroud ever be the guy we saw as a rookie again? Maybe. But you don't need to bet on that happening. That's the key point here. Houston doesn't need Stroud to be great. They just need him to keep being what he already was in 2025. A slightly above average quarterback, an average quarterback. Pair that with an elite defense, and this offense just doesn't have to do much heavy lifting. However, though, if Stroud was ever going to have his best season since his rookie year, it's going to be now, with this supporting cast and a pivotal year for his next contract. Since 2022, only 3 receivers have had multiple seasons averaging at least 3 yards per route run. What does that mean? It's basically a stat that measures how efficient a receiver is every time he runs a route. Here's the list: Tyreek Hill, Puka Nacua, and Nico Collins. That's it. So what makes Collins so valuable is Houston doesn't have to scheme anything up for him. He just wins on his own, down the field, on deep routes, creating big plays without needing a special game plan built around him. He also has really strong chemistry with Stroud from day one, especially throwing the ball deep. Now, what does that do? It gives Houston a legit weapon anytime they need an explosive play through the air. You just got to stay healthy. And they're also getting Tank Dell back from injury. Speaking about health, Dell looked like a real wide receiver too as a rookie, and again in 2024 before a horrible injury just derailed everything. Now, nobody should count on him being exactly what he was before. But at the same time, Houston doesn't need him to be that really strong WR2. They just need him to be successful because they have Jaden Higgins, who's looking to build off a really solid rookie campaign. And Houston, on top of it, spent the offseason fixing the most obvious problem: the offensive line. This is actually the second straight offseason they've rebuilt it. And the first rebuild started to pay dividends. In 2024, Stroud got hit and sacked more than any quarterback in football. That's why he finished 28th. After the line got overhauled, sacks dropped from 52 to 23, and his sack rate got cut nearly in half, from about 9% to about 5%. This year they added guard Wyatt Teller, tackle Braden Smith, and first-round pick Keelan Rutledge on top of that. Now, none of these guys need to be stars. The line just has to improve, and there's a lot of room for that. And the backfield, the running backs, should get a lot better too. David Montgomery isn't the explosive back that he was earlier in his career, but Houston doesn't really need that from him. He's a steady, reliable runner who protects the quarterback well in pass protection. Exactly what this team needs. He's also a great fit for how Houston blocks up front. Among backs with enough carries in man-blocking schemes last year, Montgomery ranked number 1 in EPA per rush. That's value added per carry. And number 1 in first down rate. That matters a lot because Houston was awful scoring touchdowns in the red zone last year. 30th in the league. 11 points below the NFL average. Now, Montgomery is about as direct a fix for that problem as you can really find in the league. And Woody Marks, I think he brings something else. A quicker, shiftier kind of change of pace back. I think they're going to work really well together, giving defenses different looks and keeping each other fresh as they split time. Now, none of these moves alone turns Houston into a top offense, but together, they raise the floor under Stroud. And that's really the whole point. Because this offense, they don't have to light up the scoreboard every week for this bet to hit. It just needs to be a middle-of-the-pack unit. Avoid big mistakes and hit a few explosive plays here and there to complement one of the best defenses, I think the best defense in all of football. But there's upside here. If Stroud gets back closer to his rookie form, this offense could actually get scary. If Dell becomes a real weapon again, it gets better. If the offensive line outperforms expectations, it gets better. And Houston doesn't need all three things to happen. Just one would be a really nice bonus on top of an already solid floor. So on top of all of that, Houston's schedule is easier than last year. Last year, they played the second toughest schedule in the entire NFL. This year, still tough, 10th toughest, right? Not easy, but a step down from last year. And when you dig deeper, the defenses that their offenses will, or the Texans' offense will face, go from the 12th toughest to the 8th easiest. And the run defense they'll face go from the 3rd toughest all the way down to the 11th easiest. That's the single biggest year-over-year schedule improvement for any rushing attack in the entire league. So just on schedule alone, if everything stays the same as last year, I think it's fair to say that they should see better results. And last year, the Texans were only favored in 9 games. This year, they're favored in 13. Vegas already sees an easier week-to-week path for Houston. So, in summary, we have what I believe to be the number 1 defense in the NFL that's returning all 11 starters, with an easier schedule than last year, especially for the offense, combined with an offense with a retooled offensive line and the highest number of weapons at the skill positions that CJ Stroud has ever had. With all of this in place, Stroud doesn't even have to be above average for them to get to 10 wins. But if he gets back into the top 10 quarterback conversation, that's when it all comes together and Houston can have a Seattle-like run and win the freaking Super Bowl. I project 11.2 wins for Houston this season, according to my model. The second highest win total projection in the AFC, just ahead of the Bills, barely, and slightly behind the Ravens. I make the true line of them to be the AFC 1 seed at 5-1. So my biggest bet is over 9.5 wins, but I also took them to finish with the best record in the AFC at 10-1 and to win the Super Bowl at 20-1. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos. And of course, would really appreciate if you could just leave a comment with any thoughts or questions for me, and I'll be down there to answer them. Again, another reminder that it takes a while to film these videos. So if you want my picks even earlier, just download the free Pickett Sports app, where all of my bets are tracked publicly. So you can also see whether I'm winning or losing, and as importantly, whether or not I'm beating the closing line. Now, you can make money personally, make money for yourself. Sync your sportsbook when you download the Pickett Sports app using code JustBaseball. You could win up to $100 just for doing that. A few easy clicks. I really appreciate you dropping by. Just a reminder, it's not gambling advice.